Hi everyone, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts, and first of all I want to apologise for the gap since the last video, and to also thank you all for your understanding and lovely words. I also wanted to add that although we started doing some videos again, I'm not going to promise that this is going to be every Friday as before. This isn't actually anything to do with Daisy. It was something I've been thinking about prior to what happened, because making videos really does take a huge amount of time, and it was meaning I was putting other things that really I needed to prioritise to one side. So I just need to get back into a routine with everything, and then hopefully we can start getting things more regular again. But for the short term at least, it will just be kind of as and when I'll put things up. It's sort of more like it was right back at the beginning when I first started the channel. I just kind of put the videos up when I made them rather than on a specific day. But let's now get on with today's project, and I am making my Mother's Day card, which actually at the time this video goes up, Mother's Day has now been and gone in the UK, but I know it's a different date in the US, and I'm not sure about other countries in the world. But this is a card that could easily be used for any occasion. It's a beautiful floral stamp set from Altenew. As always, I'll put all the details with links of the products used in the blog post, and you can get to that blog post by using the link below this video. So I'm starting out with my Sue Wilson dies. This is the round ones obviously, and I took the fourth one in from the largest, and I took a piece of that Archer's watercolour paper and I just drew around the outside edge. If you draw around the outside edge when you actually do the die cutting, you die cut the pencil out of the way, obviously, because it's beyond the die cut edge. But by drawing that in, it gives me my area that I know that I need to work within. So then I took my stamps and I just kind of used them to help me decide the position of the actual poppies. And there you see I laid the main poppy heads down, and then I took away two of them and left the first one that I needed to stamp. Now, because we're going to be layering them, I have created some masks, but what you want to do is you want the one that you want in the very front, you need to stamp that first, and then the next one will be the one that you want next in front, and going until you go to the very back one. So then I'm taking my mask that I cut out and I'm just popping that over that poppy, and then we're taking the next one, and again I'm just taking both of them because I find it easier to kind of work out the position of each one as I go along by putting them down, because it just makes that positioning sort of clear by seeing them in place. Now for this one I'm not doing a no lines drawing, so I'm using my VersaFine black onyx ink here. This is a waterproof ink because I'm doing watercolour. You'll also notice that when I did my second stamp just now that I pushed down just a little bit more where that mask is. Sometimes you find, even with the very thin masking, that the stamp doesn't always quite stamp perfectly at that edge where it joins up with this mask, and that's just because there is a very slight height difference, so you just want to give it a little bit of an extra push in that area like that. Again, you can see I'm just giving it a little bit of an extra push there, and that will just make sure that that bit is stamped as well. Then finally in the stamping I added the mask in order to stamp all my leaves. I didn't go into all of that with you because I thought that was a bit boring to see all that being done. So then we lift up the masking, and then we're going to get on to the watercolouring. And what I will do for that is, as I often do, I will leave you with some nice music and come back to you once the colouring is finished.
You could have anybody that you want, and you're saying that you want me. I don't know what keeps you coming back, but I ain't complaining. When you got somebody at home waiting for the car lights to come on, they wanna call you their own. I know I used to be the same way about these same things, but the older I get, I don't know. Yeah, I wanna call you my own. messed up on my mind. You were seeing somebody else, and so was I. But don't act like you weren't thinking about me. When you got somebody at home, waiting for the car lights to come on, they wanna call you their own. I know I used to be the same way about these same things, but the older I get, I don't know. Yeah, I wanna call you my own, and like cross my heart that you feel the same. I've been running up people that I know. These feelings, they won't go away. They won't go away. These feelings, they won't go away. I've been having bad dreams. Can you heal me? Heal me. Maybe go play over my bed when I'm sleeping. 'Cause I need some light, and I need something that I can't provide. That I can't provide. 'Cause I need some light, and I need something that I can't provide. That I can't provide. I've been gone for some time. Can you find me? There's something dark inside, but I'm fighting. 'Cause I need some light, and I need something that I can't provide. That to say it all the time. Breathe me in.
Okay, so that's the colouring all done. So now we're going to take that original die that we used as our template, and we're going to die cut out our watercolour here so that we get that circle. And now this particular die is Sue Wilson's die with the little piercing on it. However, I decided that I wanted to really add like a border, so I took the two dies that were both number 4, but one was from the original set and one was from set B, and so then I cut out the first set. You couldn't cut them out together, they were too close, so I cut out the larger one first, and then I took the second one. Now I'm using a magnetic platform, but if you're not, you will need to adhere this with some tape, because what you'll see is you basically cannot see the edge of the circle. It's kind of almost hidden underneath, and this created a really fine border edge that I wanted to then adhere to the front of my watercolor piece here. And in order to do that, I just used some of this hunky-dory wet glue, but any wet glue will do. This was a wet glue that was in a pen, so I thought that that would work really well to get it on, not too kind of thickly, but I just felt that that added a really nice finish to it. So then I set that to one side while it dried, and I took a 7x7 pre-scored card base and this Sue Wilson heart embossing folder, and I put the embossing folder from the bottom edge of the card up towards the score line, and then popped it through my machine, and it embossed just down like a center panel. I then wanted some gold strips, just like 1/8 of an inch gold strips, to put down the front on each side of that embossed panel. I deliberately took a card that was bigger. I could have used 6x6, but I wanted it to have the hearts in the middle and then just like a plain edge to the side that wasn't embossed, and then added these gold strips. I just felt that that would tally in really nicely with the border around our watercolor piece. The next thing I did was take a piece of red vellum and cut it to about 1/4 of an inch smaller on all both sides, so that it left about 1/8 of an inch on all sides, and then I just adhered that in to create a little insert flap there, because I just felt that that would look really attractive with the red. I then took this sentiment stamp that said Mother's Day, and then I took another one that said Happy Graduation. I masked out the Mother's Day and then stamped over the Happy Graduation so that it would say Happy Mother's Day. Now what we discovered, as you can see, is that a couple of the little bit of the H's and the tail of the Y was missing, so I just took a black fine tip marker and just filled that in, and you didn't even notice that was gone. I then cut that out using the same dies circles as I did for the watercolor piece, but obviously smaller, and then I did the same thing as I did with my watercolor piece and cut a gold border to put over the Mother's Day sentiment as well. And I just felt, again, that's going to bring all those elements together really nicely. So for the watercolor piece, I'm going to pop that up. So as you saw, I've put some foam tape on the back, but for the Mother's Day sentiment, I'm going to stick that down flat. Now, because I'm sticking that down onto embossing, I'm using this wet adhesive. This is the hunky-dory construction glue. It's really strong. As you who watch me regularly would know, I also always put wet glue on the back of foam tape, so I did that before adhering my watercolor piece down as well. Even if you don't normally do that, I would recommend that you do that if you've done any embossing, because even with the foam tape, it will hold it better, because the wet glue will go in between the bumps of the embossing and hold it down. So I just loved the way that was offset. I think that really looked nice. And then as a little final touch, because I know for my mum that she loves like little crystals or little sort of water droplets on the flowers, so for this occasion I did use crystals, and then I added a couple also to the Mother's Day side and one in each of the corners, and then that is the card finished. So it's actually a very clean, simple looking card, but obviously there was quite a bit of work involved. The colouring itself took quite a long time, and I tell you, my hand was really aching at the end of it, but I do feel like it turned out really, really nicely, and Mum was absolutely thrilled, so I guess that's the most important part. So I hope you guys like it too. I would love, as always, to hear your comments, and don't forget you can go across to the blog post not only to see links to the products that I've used here, and I'll give you details of the specific colours that I used, but also it will have photos of the finished card as well. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.